Dear students, in the previous class I told you about SI system of units. So whether it may be a fundamental unit or derived unit, you must express it in SI system only. And in your NCERT book, at the end, in appendix 6, different derived quantities and their derived units are given. In the NCERT textbook, in the last pages, there is appendix 6. There, different physical quantities, derived quantities and their derived units are mentioned. You go through the table once. Next, I am going to tell you the rules to be followed while writing these units. Whenever a physical quantity has unit, compulsorily you have to mention the unit, otherwise it becomes meaningless. And you have to mention the unit according to these rules. So here I will explain the rules to be followed while writing unit for physical quantities. The first rule, unit should not be expressed in plural form. Here, unit should never be expressed in plural form. For example, a length of 10 meter, it is to be written like this. Don't write it as 10 meters. It becomes long. Similarly, time, 10 seconds. Don't write it as 10 seconds. So, any unit should not be expressed in plural form. Whatever may be the magnitude, unit must be written as it is, and unit should not be expressed in plural form. This is the first rule. Second rule, while writing derived unit or even fundamental unit, punctuation marks should not be used. Punctuation marks means, as you know, full stop, comma, semicolon, such type of punctuation marks should not be used while writing units. For example, a force of 10 Newton means you have to write it like this. You should not put a point here, full stop. Of course, if the sentence ends here, you can put the full stop. Because of this unit, you should not use this full stop. And also, so you have to write it as 10 Newton only. In case of derived units, when different fundamental units are involved in it, you should not use punctuation mark between the units. For example, torque, 2. So torque is, the unit of torque is Newton meter. So you have to write it Newton meter like this. Don't write it as 10 Newton meter like this. This is wrong. So, in case of derived units, between different units you should not use punctuation marks like a full stop, comma, semicolon, such things. So in a derived unit, all unit must be written one after the other without using any punctuation marks. Next, units which are not named after scientists, they must be written in small letters. Units which are not named after scientists, small letters must be used. For example, length 10 meter. If you write it is 10 meter like this becomes wrong, because this meter, it is not name of a scientist. So when a unit is not named after a scientist, it must be expressed in small letter only. That's why you have to write it as small m, not capital M. Similarly, mass 5 kg, small k, small g. So this becomes correct, not like this, capital K, capital G. So units which are not named after scientists, they must be expressed in terms of small letters only. This is the third rule. Fourth rule, a derived unit which is named after a scientist, a derived unit which is named after a scientist, when you mention it as a unit, that name must be started with a small letter. For example, you take force. The derived unit of force is kg meter per second square. This kg meter per second square, it is named as Newton. So when I write the unit, that means when I write Newton as a unit, I have to start with small letter like this. So as per English grammar, when you write name, we start with capital letter. Generally, while writing any name, the first letter must be capital. But here in this case, when the name of a scientist is written as a unit, you have to use small letter. So you should not write it like this. So this is correct and this is wrong. So this is the name of a scientist which is written as a unit, so you have to use small letter. The next rule is, a unit named after a scientist is expressed as a symbol, you have to use capital letter. A unit named after a scientist is expressed as a symbol, then you have to write capital letter. So here, a force of 10 Newton, you have to write it like this. This becomes correct. A force of 10 Newton, this becomes wrong. So this is the name of a scientist which is a unit expressed as symbol. Then we have to use a capital letter. Similarly, work done 5 joule, we write it like this, not 5 joule, because joule is name of a scientist. So this is another rule. The next thing is, you know that SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. When you write the temperature in Kelvin, you should not use the symbol for a degree. See, this temperature is 273 degree Kelvin. You have to write it like this. Kelvin is the name of a scientist, which is used as a unit here. And as a represented by means of a symbol, I have to use capital K. So, whenever you write the temperature in degree Kelvin, this symbol for degree should not be used. You should not write it like this. So this is wrong and this is correct. When temperature is expressed in degree Kelvin, this symbol for degree should not be used. So usually temperature in Kelvin scale, it is represented by capital T, this one. And also sometimes we express the temperature in Celsius also. Temperature in Celsius scale, we write it as small t. Whenever you express the temperature in a unit other than Kelvin, you have to write a degree. Say a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. So actually you write it like degrees Celsius. So this should not be written like this. What Kelvin scale nalli mention ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬರಿಬಾರದು. ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಈ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದನ್ನು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. 273 ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬಾರದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ರೂಲ್. The next rule is, in case of a derived unit, you should not use many solidus. For example, there is a unit like this. Specific heat, joule per mole degree Kelvin, we write it like this. So this is called slash or solidus. In a derived unit, only one solidus is to be used. You should not write like this, joule per Kelvin per mole. So this is wrong. Understand? So in a derived unit, only one solidus or one slash is to be used. That means this is joule per Kelvin mole. Don't write it as joule per degree per Kelvin per mole. You should not write it like this. So only one solidus is to be used. And further, to avoid this confusion, what we do is, we give negative powers for the units in the denominator. The same thing can also be written as joule per Kelvin per mole, like this. That means the units which are in the denominator, they can be expressed as negative powers. For example, acceleration 10 meter per second square, you can write it like this. This can also be written as 10 meter second to the power of minus 2, both are correct. You can write it this way and also you can write it like this. So only one solidus is to be used, and you should not use many solidus like this. And also the units which are in the denominator, they can be taken to the numerator by taking negative indices like this. The next rule is, when the magnitude is quite large or quite small, we can use a suffix. When the magnitudes are quite small or quite large, you can use prefixes. When the magnitude is quite large or quite small, we use prefixes. You can see these prefixes in your NCERT book in appendix 1. NCERT book nalli appendix 1 nalli ee prefixes ella irtav. Say for example, on the smaller side, the prefixes will be 10 to the power of minus 1. We write it as a deci. 10 to the power of minus 2, centi. So here, this deci, we write it as a d symbolically. This centi we write it as C. 10 to the power of minus 3. This is called milli. See, centi means 10 to the power of minus 2. You know about meter and centimeter. 1 centimeter means 1 into 10 to the 1 centi means 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. So 10 to the power of minus 2 means 1 by 100. That is how you get 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. 1 meter ಅನ್ನೋದು 100 centimeter ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ this is the reason. This word centi, it refers to 10 to the power of minus 2. Similarly, milli. Milli means 10 to the power of minus 3. mm. 1 mm means 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. Illi m stands for milli. So 1 millimeter means 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. 10 to the power of minus 3 means 1 by 1000. That is how 1 meter becomes equal to 1000 millimeter. So you should know the meaning of these prefixes. So 10 to the power of minus 3 means milli. 10 to the power of minus 6 micro. We represent it by Greek letter mu. 10 to the power of for example, you come across micrometer screw gauge. Micrometer screw gauge, that means it measures in terms of 10 to the power of minus 6 meter. And nano, 10 to the power of minus 9, this is called nano, represented as n. Wavelength of light, it is of the order of nanometers. Nano means 10 to the power of minus 9. You might have heard of nanoparticles. Size of the particle will be of the order of 10 to the power of minus 9, like that. So nano, 10 to the power of minus 12, it is called pico. 10 to the power of minus 15, it is called femto. Size of the nucleus of an atom, it is of the order of Fermi. Fermi or femtometer. Femto means 10 to the power of minus 15. Similarly, 10 to the power of minus 18, otto. So, in smaller magnitude sites, we use these prefixes. Similarly, in larger magnitude side, we use these prefixes. Deca. Deca, 10 to the power of plus 1. This is called deca. Like this. Symbol is capital D. And 10 to the power of 2. Hecta. This is small h. 10 to the power of 3. So this is kilo, K. Kilogram. That means 1000 grams, which makes 1 kg. So 1 kg means 10 to the power of 3. Well, this kilo stands for 10 to the power of 3 gram. So 1000 grams is equal to 1 kg. So the 1000 is called as K. So 10 to the power of 6, this is called mega. 10 to the power of 9, this is called giga. This computer memory, it is expressed as gigabytes. GB. 10 to the power of 12, tera. So like this, larger magnitudes are expressed by means of these prefixes. So you keep these wordings in mind. So whenever you come across these terms, you should remember this value. So these are the rules which are to be followed while writing the units. So while mentioning unit of any physical quantity, you have to keep these rules in mind and then you write the unit. The next thing is measurement of this length, mass and time. Measurement of length. This length can be measured in different methods. One is called a direct method, another one is called an indirect method. So visible lengths, they can be measured by means of direct methods, like using ordinary scale, a vernier calipers, a screw gauge, like that. In a direct method, you can use these things: scale, vernier calipers, screw gauge. You know how to measure the length using a scale. See, if you take a scale like this, in this scale you have graduations only in centimeter and millimeter. So on the scale there will be graduations like this. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 1 centimeter, either 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, like that. The scale in the geometry box, it will be of 15 centimeter. And sometimes we use a bit larger, longer scales, that is a 1 foot scale, they are of 30 centimeter. Whereas in the laboratory, we use 1 meter scales, where the length is 1 meter. So the object length is compared with the scale, and thereby you can find the length of the object. So for an ordinary scale, the lowest length this ordinary scale can measure is 1 millimeter. So this minimum length an instrument can measure, that is called a least count. So this is the least count of this instrument. It is 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeter. So for ordinary scale, the lowest length it can measure is 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeter. That is called as least count. Ordinary scale cannot measure below 1 millimeter. If you want to measure lengths below 1 millimeter, then you can use a vernier calipers. Vernier calipers. So here this is a vernier calipers. This vernier calipers, it has got 2 jaws. So these lower jaws are used to find the outer lengths, like this. These upper jaws are used to find the inner lengths. Inner diameter of a cylinder, inner diameter of a ring. Like that, to find the inner lengths we use these upper jaws. To find the outer lengths we use these lower jaws. So this is a fixed jaw and this is a movable jaw. This is movable. On this fixed jaw there is a scale which is called main scale. This main scale, it looks like your ordinary scale, and to this movable jaw there is one more scale here which is called vernier scale. So this fixed jaw, it is attached with a main scale. This movable jaw, it is attached with a vernier scale. This vernier scale, it is designed on the principle of vernier. So principle of vernier means n vernier scale divisions will be always equal to n minus 1 main scale divisions. This is the principle of vernier. Vernier, it is the name of a French scientist who designed this instrument way back in 1600s. So this instrument can measure still smaller lengths than that of ordinary scale. So if you want to measure lengths smaller than this 1 millimeter, you can use this one. So this vernier calipers, it is designed on this principle. In any vernier, n vernier scale divisions is equal to n minus 1 main scale divisions. So the difference between one main scale division and one vernier scale division, this is called least count. Least count, it is the difference between one main scale division and one vernier scale division. Now, here one vernier scale division will become n minus 1 main scale divisions. I can write one vernier scale division is equal to n minus 1 divided by n main scale divisions. And on substitution, you will get this one, 1 MSD divided by n. You will get it like this. So, what is this 1 MSD? It is value of one main scale division divided by number of vernier scale divisions. So this is the formula for least count of any vernier. You have to understand this thing properly. In the NEET examination, definitely there will be one question based on either vernier calipers or screw gauge. NEET examination ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆರಡು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರೋ 2020 NEET 2020 ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ ಗೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಾರ. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ ಗೇಜ್ ಲೇಟರ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ vernier says that n vernier scale divisions will become n minus 1 main scale divisions. Least count means it is a difference between one main scale division and one vernier scale division. So if I substitute for this 1 MSD, it becomes n minus 1. It becomes n minus 1 by n. So from that you will get that equation. So this becomes the formula for least count of a vernier. Value of one main scale division divided by number of vernier scale divisions. So for different verniers, the number of vernier scale divisions and the value of main scale division, they are different. ಸೊ ಈ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ಲ್ಯಾಬೊರೇಟರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟು ಅಥವಾ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ. ಆ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಲೆಂಗ್ತ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ದು ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಯಿಂದ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಮೀಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. So wherever this vernier arrangement is used to find the least count, this is the formula. Now if you take this instrument, ನೀವು ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, this main scale is just like ordinary scale. So value of one main scale division is 1 millimeter. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು 1 millimeter means it is 0.1 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್. ಈ ಮೇನ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 1 millimeter, which is 0.1 centimeter. Next on this vernier scale here, ಈ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ 10 divisions ಇದಾವೆ. I don't know whether you could see those divisions or not. So here there will be 10 divisions. So the least count is 0.01 centimeter. That means you can measure up to 0.01 centimeter by using this vernier calipers. See here, by using ordinary scale you can measure up to 0.1 centimeter, whereas you can measure up to 0.01 centimeter. That means the precision for vernier calipers is 10 times more than that of ordinary scale. Next, to note down the readings by using this vernier calipers, what you need to do is, you have to fix the object between these two jaws. Say, I want to find the length of this object. I want to find the length of this object, so I will fix this length portion between the two jaws like this. So I will fix like this. Now I have to note down the main scale reading. Main scale reading, that is called MSR. Main scale reading. Main scale reading means reading on the main scale just before the vernier zero. See, the graduations are like this. So this is a 3 centimeter division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These graduations are like this on the scale, main scale. On the vernier scale, these graduations are like this. This is vernier 0. This is vernier 0, and on the vernier scale 10 divisions are there. So this is somewhere here, 10th division is somewhere here. So this is the main scale and this is the vernier scale. So this is main scale, this is vernier scale. On the vernier scale, the divisions are like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The divisions are like this. On the vernier scale, 10 divisions are there. On the main scale, it is just like ordinary scale, so the graduations are in this manner. Now main scale reading means reading on the main scale just before the vernier 0. This is the vernier 0. Before this vernier 0, the reading on the main scale is this one. That is 3.3 centimeter. Understand? So after fixing the object here between the two jaws, the main scale and vernier scale, they look like this. Now to measure this length, what you have to do is, first you have to note down the main scale reading. So reading on the main scale just before the vernier 0, that is 3.3. This is vernier 0. Before this vernier 0, this is the reading. So this reading is 3.3. So this is main scale reading. Next, coinciding vernier division. CVD. Coinciding vernier division means out of the 10 divisions on the vernier scale, only one division will be coinciding with one of the divisions on the main scale. out of the 10 divisions on the vernier scale, only 1 division of the vernier will be coinciding with one of the divisions on the main scale. Here see, this and this, they are not coinciding. This and this, they are not coinciding. You see, these two are coinciding. And the remaining divisions are not at all coinciding anywhere. So the vernier division which is coinciding with the division on the main scale is this one, which is 3. This is the division which is coinciding, that is 3. By observing this main scale reading and vernier scale reading, you can calculate this total reading by using this formula. MSR plus CVD into LC. So this is 3.3 centimeter plus 3 into 0.01 centimeter. So 3.3 centimeter plus 0.03 centimeter, which is equal to 3.33 centimeter. You are going to do this experiment in the laboratory. If you understand this much, you can carry the experiment comfortably in the laboratory. Just the thing is, you have to fix the object between these two jars. Note down the main scale reading. Main scale reading ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಜೀರೋಕ್ಕಂತ ಮುಂದೆ, ಈ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಜೀರೋಕ್ಕಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಈ ಮೇನ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಡಿವಿಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ main scale reading, that is 3.3 centimeter. Coinciding vernier division ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೇಲಿರೋ 10 ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಡಿವಿಷನು ಮೇನ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದೇ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಕೂಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟನೇ ನಂಬರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಕೂಡುತ್ತೋ ಆ ನಂಬರ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0, 1, 2, 3 ಥರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕೋಇನ್ಸೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ CVD ಈಸ್ 3. 10ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟನೇ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೋ ಅದು ಕೋಇನ್ಸೈಡಿಂಗ್ ವೆರ್ನಿಯರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್. ಮತ್ತು ಇದು ಕೂಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದು ಮತ್ತು ಈ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಬರೀಬಾರ್ದು. 3.6 ಅಂತಂದು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಕೋಇನ್ಸೈಡಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 3. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಲೆಂಗ್ತ್, I take different positions of length. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿ 3 ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದಿ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ 3 ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಮೀನ್ ಲೆಂಗ್ತ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್? ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ 3 ಟ್ರಯಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೀನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ ಲೆಂಗ್ತ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ how readings are to be noted by using a vernier calipers. So the precision of vernier calipers, it is 10 times more than that of ordinary scale. So precision andre limitation or minimum value up to which it can measure, that is called precision. So ordinary scale can measure up to 1 millimeter only, whereas this one it can measure up to 0.1 millimeter or 0.01 centimeter. Similarly, the second instrument is, the third instrument is screw gauge. A screw gauge, it works on the principle of screw. What is principle of screw? In any screw, rotational motion is converted into translational motion. ನೀವು ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ ಹೆಡ್ನು ತಿರುಗಿಸಿದಾಗ ಟಿಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎನಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ rotational motion is converted into translational motion. That is called principle of screw. Based on that, this screw gauge works. So this is the screw gauge which you are going to use in the laboratory. So here you can see, this is called head scale, this is called screw head. When I turn it like this, this tip of the screw recedes. When I turn it in the opposite direction, it proceeds like this. So the rotational motion is converted into translational motion, that is principle of screw. For any screw, there will be threads like this. So these are called the threads of the screw. The distance between two successive threads, it is called pitch. The distance between any two successive threads, it is called pitch. You can find the pitch of the screw by using these scales. On the screw gauge, you have two scales. One is called pitch scale, another one is called head scale. Here you see, this is called pitch scale, this one. Here you have vertical graduations which are in millimeters. Idinu pitch scale antara. Ee pitch scale mele vertical graduations irtavu, millimeters nalli irtavu. There is one horizontal line you see, that is called pitch line. Ee horizontal line nu pitch line anta karitive. So this is called pitch scale, and that horizontal line, it is called pitch line. Further, you can also find graduations on this head scale here. Idara mele. There will be graduations on this head scale. There will be number of graduations on the head scale. So by using this scale, first you have to find the pitch of the screw. So pitch of the screw means distance between two successive threads. Distance between two successive threads, it is called pitch of the screw. To find this pitch of the screw, what we do is, we give certain number of rotations to the screw head, and we find the distance traveled on the pitch scale. So if I divide if I divide them, I'll get the distance traveled for one rotation, that is called pitch. So here, distance uncovered on pitch scale divided by number of rotations given to screw head. See, actually, this screw gauge has two heads. This is one head which is rotating. This is called spindle. And this is another head which is fixed. This is called anvil. So this head is called anvil and this head is called spindle. When anvil and spindle both are coinciding, when both are touching each other, on this pitch scale you can see only 0th division. ಇವೆರಡು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕೂಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಪಿಚ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 0th ಲೈನ್ ಒಂದೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಗಿವ್ 5 rotations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have given 5 rotations. Here what is the distance moved? Uncovered. ಮೊದಲು ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೂ ಹೆಡ್ಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು, ಇದನ್ನು 5 rotations ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಮೂವ್ ಆಯಿತು. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ 5 millimeter. So distance uncovered for this instrument is 5 millimeter. Number of rotations given is 5. This is 5 millimeter. This is 5. So it is 1 millimeter. This is the pitch of the screw. See, for different screw gauges, this pitch may be different. For this particular instrument which you use in our laboratory, the pitch is 1 millimeter. Next, to find the least count, this is the formula: pitch divided by number of divisions on head scale. So here pitch is 1 millimeter. On this head scale, totally 100 divisions are there.